Hey everybody, it's Book of Catherine. I hope you're doing well. So I am just giving you a quick update on my lumbar spine procedure, the right lumbar spine. It was my second lumbar spine procedure on my right side. So it goes from my entire lumbar area on the right side of my spine. Um, and so that kind of goes into my right psoas. And I just want to tell you how that's going. I know it may look bad. I'm not filming as much and I'm down on the ground. That can be deceiving. So I wanted to give you an update. Um, it has actually gone very, very well. The level of pain has dropped so much. My, well, I should say like my joints are much more, for example, my hips. I think the biggest thing is that my hips can finally move. That is a very, very big thing. This is the second one I've had, right? So it means it builds on the last one I had. And the last one I had, after a week or so, or a couple weeks of healing up and everything, I was building and doing PT, I suddenly walked again. This time, like, I can actually like take my knees and actually do like this butterfly motion. Like, I don't know if you can see in the shadows, but like I can actually, if I can take them here, bring them to you here, my knees here, and then bring them in a circle around, like in a circle around, and then I can bring them back together. That is new. I could never do that before. The hips were so tight together. Now there are things that I cannot do. For example, my PT guy came, like when I walk, I cannot bring my knees together. My legs still rotate in, which causes falls. And I just did a video where I'm showing you my PT for that. And I'm learning that that's what makes it very difficult to walk. The reasons why I'm flat versus up and walking. I'm waiting for my legs to not curl in, this curling in thing that's happening. This like they're just like wound up together, and I'm waiting for them to kind of detangle so that I can walk correctly on them. So that's what my in-home PT care that I have now. They're working on giving me exercises to actually do them. But I can tell you this, without that procedure, I would not be able to actually do, I can tell now, like with what he gave me, I was like, I remember someone tried to give me something this year and I couldn't even, they kept trying to adjust, they kept trying to adjust, they kept trying to adjust, and I couldn't do any of them. I remember I couldn't do any of them. They kept trying to give me all these different, and I couldn't do a single. They were like, literally, I can't find an adjustment for you. And now I can actually do, like, he gave me one adjustment. And I was like, I can do it. And I mean, you'll see it on the video. It made me start stuttering, but I could do it. And that's where these procedures are just, and I think it's just because I've gotten this, I got whammed because I got, the previous car accidents gave me physical injuries on the spine, and then final accident gave me more injuries on the spine below and then injuries here. So now I've got both going at it. Like I got these motor issues in the head, these disconnections in the head with the nerves. And then I also have the physical injuries with the muscles and stuff. So now we're taking care of the muscles. So now I can finally train these nerves, but the muscle injuries are taken care of so that I can actually get the nerves trained. And it's so freeing to actually be able to do that and have the ability to train it and get through it and reach it. And you'll see it's very difficult work. So that's why I'm down, because when I do the work, you'll hear it. It's so overwhelming. It's so difficult. And so I'm kind of like taking these days where I'm like, okay, one day I'm going to move, and then another day, like when I do these PT things, and these OT things and these speech things, it wipes me out and makes my head. And so some days I have to like just, it's a choice. It's an actual choice. I guess the big thing I want to say is this procedure, just, I cannot believe how much it's built on top of it and really, really helped, like really, really just launched me into this next phase of PT, OT, and speech therapy. I am much more clear-headed. Like when the PT guy came to do a home evaluation, it was the best I've ever given a historian. I was so able to actually think clearly and define everything, and my husband wasn't with me. I've never been able to do that with a doctor ever. I've never been able to have my pain level down so much. Remember I said there are all these things and the pain screams so high that it blocks out everything else? The pain level finally came down enough that I was so clear-headed. And don't get me wrong, he'd switch, he'd ask a question, and my brain would try to switch to a different track, and I'd start to go into, this kind of thing, or it'd wear me out, or I'd start having a thing. But I knew what was happening, and I was able to adjust, and I was able to explain to him what was happening, or I'd be able to lay my body down and take the load off my head. I had all these adjustments. If the pain had been going nuts, if the pain had been overloading me, I wouldn't have been able to get through I would have had to stop talking. I wouldn't have gotten through the actual evaluation. And now I'm wearing myself out because I just did this PT video. And I know I need to stop so that I don't go into an episode. So anyway, I want to give you an update that things are going so well. I mean, they're going so well because I no longer feel like I'm improving so much in PT. I'm improving so much in PT. Look at all this great things with dancing and everything. Look at this. I can stand up. I have a core. Like, I've got so many more tummy muscles now. You won't believe it. My tummy, I'm really learning to process food. Like, oh my gosh, my tummy's getting so much better at processing food, you guys. You have no idea. It's really, especially after this last procedure, it's really learning to process food again. It's a big deal. But this area that was really going down, I can tell, like it's just like, like I can tell there's not this huge deterioration in like my speech anymore or in my ability to think anymore. I can tell there's not this huge, like I'm losing it. I can tell that it's flatline now, and I can tell that like I'm not sliding down in other areas, and it's just changed everything. And I'm able to be more grateful about things and just look around my life and feel like I have a really, really good life and be grateful for the things that I have, because I know people have it worse, and I'm able to actually just define my world and not be lost, just lost on a, sea and not know what's going on around me, if that makes sense. It really is like living in a prison when your body just, you have an episode and you have no idea when it comes to changing a conversation, when someone can ask you a question and it causes a migraine or a brainstorm in your head, or your brain just stops because they ask you a question. I can't even begin to tell you how that can just, it makes you, it just makes you feel like you're so broken. And then you can have another conversation with another person and have this genius thing and change their life and like make their career just take this huge leap, and then watch them do this huge thing in their career and just be like, holy crap. And then they thank you and they did it, and you just know this and you watch this and you see it go successful, you see it go global, and you're like, but how can I do that? 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 How can I be the same person do that, but somebody asks me a question? And now I know. Now I know. Well, if you keep me on the same subject, and if it doesn't take longer than this many minutes, and if I'm just staying still, and we're right in this moment, but you don't ask me about my future plans, and you don't ask me to remember, so if we just stay on the same subject, and you just take me on you and do problem side, we're good. Like this, like videos, we're just talking right now, on this one thing. It's really great. I'm not thinking about my body. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not thinking about my future. I'm not thinking about my past. I'm thinking about right now, and it's really great. So, I don't know. I'm just thinking about you guys, and I guess I'm really good at that. I'm just thinking about you guys, and that pulls me out there. And I can do that. I can think about you guys and think about what would help you. I guess that is kind of like the same thing, problem solving. I'm like, what would help you? What about my experience would help you? And that's YouTube, isn't it? Like, I'm just like, what in the world am I going through that would help you? That's what I'm always thinking about with my videos. What would help you? What would help you? What would help you? It's not unlike working with, certain people in certain industries. So, anyway, I love you guys so much. All right, so that's my update, and I better go rest. And I'll post the video next of my PT. So I talk a little bit about the end about going up and going down because I didn't know I was going to tape this. So yeah, it's a little PT session that I do, and it'll be interesting to you guys. For those of you guys who are doing PT on legs or anything like I'm doing, it's a very different, it's going to be something, but probably very interesting. But I got to tell you, I don't think I would have been able to do it until these right lumbar procedure. No, I know I wouldn't have been able to do it. Like, this is just new, and this is fantastic, and I'm so great. Actually, all the dancing and stuff that I did, all those dancing videos have allowed me to be able to do something this fine and this important. So, this is like, it'll look like, oh my gosh, she's doing something so simple, when in reality, this is actually more advanced than the dancing videos. This is actually getting more advanced. I'm moving up a level. So maybe someone in PT or something like that can explain that to you. So anyway, I'm excited. All right. I love you guys. Anytime you do a smaller motion in dance, like, bigger motions are not as difficult as smaller motions in dance. Like, it's just same as drawing. It's easier for a kid to go big than it is to ask a kid to go small. And that is something else, by the way. I learned why coloring books drawing within lines are important. Okay, I'm going to really wear myself out. I found out that it's not about society or anything. That really freaked me out. I learned that today. I learned that when I was doing the PT book, I'll have to do a separate video on that. Let me see if I can find it. So like my OT book, I've been working on this guy, the OT lettering. So I've been having to draw this with my fingers or whatever. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've been having to draw that with my fingers. And it is so my fingers veered off the page in the beginning, just to draw a straight line. It took, see, I could do that in a straight line. Could not do that. Couldn't do that when I first started it. And then I noticed when I was taping it for you guys, because I put a clip on Twitter, I was it said on it, try to stay within the lines. And I was like, is that why they had us draw within the lines? To develop our motor nerves and our motor skills? And then I remember they used to have local coloring contests all the time. And I'm like, it has nothing to do. And I remember that's one of the first things UNESCO did was open your creativities. Don't stay within the lines. That's going against society. It's more creative. And I remember being like, how is anyone can just do that? How is it, isn't it more creative to choose your colors and make your, to choose your different colors? I was like, I don't know. As a kid, I had more fun picking. I had so much fun designing my coloring designs. And it's very interesting because I remember right during my atrophy period, I started buying coloring books and coloring pencils, and I couldn't use them. They just sat on the shelf and I would look at them. I had them on a shelf up here in the room, and I would just look at them from my bed. And I understand why I did that now, because I was losing that ability, and my body was trying to hold on to it instinctively. It just knew. It knew it wanted to, and it knew. But I bought these fine things that when I remember that I used to be able to do that. It was a way of holding on, and we need to trust our bodies. They know what's going on. And I really wish I had just tried. Maybe if I had tried, I would have found out that, but I don't know if I was ready to face it. I just was I don't know if I was ready to face it. I couldn't hold a pencil. I don't know. I think I did try, actually. That's right. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. It was so hard. I remember it was just so difficult to do, and I didn't know why. That's why I tried, and I was like, I I can't get this how I want it. And I couldn't figure out why that was. I couldn't get the density. I couldn't get within it was just not fun. I was like, this is so difficult. Like I was having such a difficult time. And now I can't even draw a straight line. Like now I can't even, and it was just, yeah, it goes faster than you realize. And I didn't know. I didn't know how important that was. I didn't know how important that was. I didn't know that losing that stuff means you lose things like your speech and stuff like that. So, very, very important, all of it. Anyway, that's all I think neurology and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just learning. So, that's my update. So, I really am grateful for this second procedure because I can move my legs now. I can actually move my legs and do the PT that they're giving me and actually and also in between that, by the way, because my head gets worn out and I'm flat on my back, I'm actually able to do like scissors and stuff like that and keep my core strong. I couldn't do that before at all. Like I used to be like, oh, I'm in bed, I want to do all these exercises, but I couldn't move my hip joints. They were so bad. And remember, I was like, I really need to get my hips worked on. You really need to get I couldn't move my hip joints. No, my hip joints are, so I'm like, okay, at least I can get my core, like work my core and keep my core going since I can't get up and walk and stuff like that because my head's flat. I'm like, all right, well, work my core. Like get my core going because my core has been developed in my head. It has so much motor control in my head now that it doesn't actually work out my head that much to work my core. It's kind of really interesting because we did all that work over the summer, so and over the fall. So it's very interesting. So I'm like, all right, keep that going. And I even push up on my legs and I up on the gym equipment and I hold and I do bridges and stuff like that. So I try to keep up like stuff to keep it keep up the stuff that we built on the days off of not walking and things like that. So because it's getting darker earlier. Anyway, that's a really long update. I love you guys so much. Bye. I better go rest. If you could donate down below, so because now we have a lot more than we even had before. Now they wanted to come into the house 3 times a week. And I was like, I don't think you understand. That will be 4 times a week I have people in the house. And I was like, it will take me 2 days to recover from you being in the house 1 day. Like, it took me so long. For example, they came in yesterday. I didn't sleep last night. I slept 2 hours last night. And I'd been sleeping fine. I hadn't had a sleepless night. I had not had a sleepless night in so long. Not even after the procedure did I have a sleepless night. And they came in 1 day and did that PT, and I was like, well, there we go. Didn't sleep the whole thing. And I was just like, and they want to come in for it. And I was just like, okay. So I was like, well, we'll try. And I cried. I cried because I want to. I really, really want it. Like, I cried because I cried because I'll get there. I'll get there. A year ago, I couldn't freaking lift my heel. I will get there. I will get there. I will get there. And let's be clear about this. I used to have to drive to the PT office and I'd be so worn out from the trip down. I didn't get anything done. This time, we got a lot done. We got a lot done. We got a lot done this time. So now I'm actually going to go even faster. So this is going to be good. All right. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you later. If you could donate down below, that'd be great. Only $1 a month, I think, we're large enough. If everyone, well, not everyone, but like the normal ratios, if you donate, you'd be surprised how few people donate. Why does everyone donate to people they don't know when they just? Did you know there's a guy in Dr. Phil that they panhandle, and they just live or whatever, and they have 30 nonprofit charities, right? And all they do is sit there and they do pot and they smoke around their kids or whatever. And they sit there and they yell on YouTube and they abuse their kids and everything like that. But those of us who sit here and actually try and give help, real, do labor and stuff like that. Why is it that people don't actually want to pay for things that actually, why don't people want to do fair trade? Why is that? Why is it that they're why is it that they're kind of well, you're stupid why is it they turn around to somebody like them and they're like, well, you're stupid enough to give it out. Like, if they did it, they want money from that person. But when they meet someone like them, they're not willing to give them money. I don't understand that. I don't understand why they're only willing to give money to con artists. Like, they're like, oh, you pull on my heartstrings. Oh, you make me want to cry. Or, oh, you, and they're like, here, take my, I don't understand that. But when they make someone like them that actually, like, makes their lives better and stuff like that, but they're like, oh, well, you actually seem like a healthy person. You don't seem like you need me. And I'm like, wait, so because I'm not crying wolf? Because I'm not trying to play you? Like, I'm not trying to con you? I don't understand that. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. And to my donors, like, you guys know you got me this far. You know you got me this far, right? Like 2 years, this is incredible. Like the guy was saying, he's like, it sounds like you've really come out. Like, he was like, oh, your case is like so overwhelming. He was hearing my history. I said, really? I was like, to me, it's very simple. I have 3 things I need to work on. Da, da, da. I'm excited. Like, I feel like the whole world is better now. And I was just like, yeah, 2 years of video diaries. I didn't say anything about the YouTube channel. I don't usually tell doctors, like, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I don't want to be them going out there and, like, looking it up. But yeah, like, I just was like, 2 years of videos diaries. And I was like, yeah, changed my life. That's you guys. Changed my life. Thank you for supporting me, to my donors. Thank you. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.